Hello and welcome back to the Atlantic Under-18 Curling Championships here at the Montague Curling Club in Montague, PI. This is Martin Ohms here for our draw number 2 of women's action here, as New Brunswick is going to be going against the hometown host team of Montague Curling Club. New Brunswick are in the black jackets, black and yellow, with the red stones, and they'll be shooting first in this game. This is their first game of this Bonspiel. Wow. The Montague team did drop their first game to PEI this afternoon. We're looking to see if they can rebound here. New Brunswick team is skipped by Justine Como. She has Emma LeBlanc, Bridget Como, and Kira McLaughlin with her. And the hometown team, Lauren Lentine's squad, will have Megan Ching, Rachel O'Connor, and Brianne Bergwijn with her as well. And that her first shot does go into the rings here, so we could be seeing a bunch of takeouts here, because you always want that hammer in the even ends, so we'll probably be seeing that here with this first and early takeout. We saw it in this afternoon game. Once it starts hitting the center line, the rock really starts to curl, and this one might have just overcurled, still able to get a piece of it, and just enough for it to curl out, so it just peels it away. But we're seeing once it hits that center line, the rock really starts to break, and both teams will have to see if they can pick up on that early. McLaughlin with her second, going to try and get this one back into the rings, or maybe for a central guard. This one does have enough weight. Looks like they're going to try and they want this one in the rings. And they're going to take this one just butting the forefoot. So this first end, probably just both teams getting really familiar with the ice. Kind of uncharacteristically what we saw this afternoon. This game where we saw a lot of rocks in play between Newfoundland and Nova Scotia. This one looks like it looks good. Has to curl a little bit more if they want nose, but it's just going to peel away as well, and we're going to have an open house again. So this is a great opportunity for New Brunswick with Montague unable to keep their rocks in play. Great opportunity for New Brunswick to figure out that draw weight and figure out the times. So we're going to use this opportunity to come down the other end of the ice, figure out how the right side is on the intern. A little bit of a clean going on right now. So it might be a little bit deep. Let's see how far they can carry it. This one will actually just go right on the, just behind the button. Great draw right there. And Montague wants that hammer in the even-ended ends, so they're going to just try and clear away any rocks in the house. Just waiting for a little bit of curl. This one looks to be very good. This one will hit right onto the nose. This New Brunswick team coming from the CWC in Fredericton has got quite a resume to themselves. Came 4th at Canada Games and Nationals this year. See if they can continue their reign in this spiel, Atlantics. So we're seeing an outturn takeout come down the other way. Right on the money, right on the nose, no problem. And this is going to be reminiscent of what we'll see all end. It's New Brunswick trying to see if they can force a single. O'Connor with her second. There are no slouches themselves. Had a couple great spiels so far this year. They were in Boston, finished second in the women's, and in St. John's finished third there. So this should be a very tight and competitive game between these two squads. Blunt with their first shots of the mates. Of course, we have games going on the other 3 sheets here. Nova Scotia is going to be facing PEI over on the women's side over on sheet 4, sheet 2. We have the same 2 teams we have here, but on the men's side. And on sheet number 1, men's action of PEI versus Nova Scotia. So I'll make sure to keep you updated on those other 3 games as well as this one. So the rock did get hit, but it peeled out of the ring. So an open house here for Montague. He's going to try and curl to the outside of the rings, make it difficult for the takeout. This one seems light coming out of her hand. Gotta see how far they can take this one. Hard sweep coming on here. Trying to get this one. They want a piece here, because if it does get a piece, it's a very good stone. And just comes up just a bit light. Good line, though. If it did get in the rings on that side, it would have been good. But it looks like they're still going to go for the takeout here. Just hit and try and roll over to the center of the ice. Hard on the sweep here. Want to get that inside roll. This one looks like it's going to stick to the outside, though, and just going to hit and roll away, and we have an open house once again. And Jen gets a second chance for her to try and draw into the corner. This one's a little bit heavier. Trying to get it over now. It's starting to curl, so they're going to try and see if they can carry this one as far back as they can. Very good stone. Hide it into the side. It's always more difficult to make those takeouts over on the side of the ice than down the middle, and that's what Montague's plan is, hoping to see if they can force a miss here from New Brunswick. Going up to skip stones here. Justine Como, the skip for the New Brunswick team. With our first rock. This one looks like it'll just hit and get a little bit of a roll and try and see how far they can drag in the middle, and it's going to go over to bite the floor. So we're not going to see London Town with her first. Coming down, a huge fan of Team Casey, the province's own men's team, supporting them at the Briar this year. Very open then here in the first. As we can try and look for the takeout here. Hard to keep it on the line. Great job by the sweepers, able to keep the line. Can I get a hit? Roll over, will it hang around? And it will just, looks like it's just enough to get outside of the ring. Still in play, but it's going to be by the outside. So New Brunswick might be looking at that and maybe draw up to it, and that's definitely what they're looking at here. Come freeze right on top of that yellow stone. And force a heavy takeout from London Town to get the blank here in one. Let's come with their last stone here in the first end. Hard on sweeper might be really light. This one's really breaking quickly. Does it have enough on it? And that's going to come up short. That's just going to be guard over on the side. And Montague's just going to throw it right through the house and get the blank here in this first end. So it'll go nicely right in through the house. So after the first 10 here at the Atlantic Under-18 Curling Championships here at the Montague Curling Club, it's 0-0 between New Brunswick and the hosts of Montague. There's one game going on over. That's finished the first 10 over on sheet number 2. Looks like it was a single picked up by the host team of Montague against New Brunswick over on the men's action. So the hosts are up 1-0 over New Brunswick over on sheet number 2. The other 2 games are still on their first end. As New Brunswick will start out this second end here, coming towards us. So Montague did get what they wanted because you want the hammer in those even-ended ends. So trying to see if they can pick up their deuce in this end. So we're going to now see that central guard being placed up by New Brunswick. Nice throw over there from McLaughlin. Wants to give a shout out to Mike McEwen and Lewis South if you are tuning in. Team's a big fan of Team McEwen. Fortunately, who couldn't qualify for the Briar this year, but has consistently done well in other tournaments. This one's got some weight to it. Will it hang around? Como's going to try and take this one back as far as she can. I think this one's got too much weight, and it will. That one will just go right through the rings. Early miss there from the lead. Over on Montague. So now New Brunswick will probably use this opportunity to try and curl in behind the red stone. Hard on the line here. Really hard on the line. Can this looks like they're going to wait for it to curl, and they just bump back their red guard now. So did it have enough? Yes, it will. Just bumps it back enough, and it will get a piece of the house. So they will have one. And London's just going to choose to ignore, and they're going to try and draw him behind those 2 red guards. This one's a little bit more outside. Want to make sure they don't. They're waiting for it to curl. Now it's starting to curl, and then they're going to try and take it back as far as they can. Oh, nice little curl right there. Right after the hog line. Seemed to really cut. Just if it had a little bit more weight, it would have get perfectly hidden. And there's still about half the stone sticking out here, so it looks like New Brunswick will go after it. As I can see about half of it. Just hidden, maybe get a rollover onto the left side. A little outside right now, waiting for that to cut in. Cuts in, able to get it. Nice little roll over, and it'll go over and still keep around on the left side. Great takeout right there. Nice control. And Valentine's going to just choose to hit it and try and see if they can roll him behind those 2 red guards. Remove that red stone over on the left side. In turn thrown here. Will this one curl enough? I don't think it will curl enough. Now it's just going to go right by. And an early miss right there. And you'll give an opportunity for New Brunswick to try and draw him behind their 2 red guards and sit 3. Waiting for it to start to get that curl again. Picked out. We've seen that it starts to break right after the hog line. This one has some weight to it, more weight to it, so that's what they wanted. They're just looking for that curl. This one's very nicely placed. Beautiful draw placed in there for New Brunswick. Great draw. Put in by Bridget Como. And New Brunswick sitting 3 here, so Lenton's going to take less ice here and try and do that hit and roll once again. Try to get that hit and roll over to the center. Lenton's holding the broom for O'Connor. O'Connor with her second. Waiting for it to curl a little more. No indication yet from our team. Will this one get a piece? Now it did get enough, but didn't get enough of the red one to get the roll, and that's just going to peel it away. New Brunswick's going to use that opportunity again, just get another one. Want to set top 4 here. Ideally, you maybe want to be second shot here. You don't want to have that shot stone be in the top rock. Looking over on the other sheets right now, over on sheet number 1 between PI and Nova Scotia. PI picked up a single in 1. They're up 1-0 over Nova Scotia in the men's. Nova Scotia men's did win their first game this afternoon. PI dropped their first game, so PI trying to see if they can rebound here. That's very nicely placed again. You want it to be the second shot, and it did, but if it curled a little bit more, so there's an opportunity for, if they run that back nicely, could remove both stones, but it has to be a lot of weight here. And over on sheet number 4, we have PI women's team down by 2, it looks like. And Nova Scotia picked up 2 in the first end. And they lead PI 2-0 over on sheet number 4 in the women's action. This one gets a piece of the red. Try to see if they get the run back and peel it away. Remember, though, that Montague does have the hammer in this end. So they can still, if they don't close it up, still can somehow figure out a way to get the single because that red rock is behind the tee line. Hard on this one. They want to keep that line. It's really starting to cut in. Want to make sure this one's by. It's by. Very nicely brushed. Trying to get in, trying to sit on the 4. And a great finish right there. What a draw, pull it in there by LeBlanc. Perfectly placed. And that one you cannot get to, and that's going to force Lentine to remove those central guards because there's no way to access those 2 red stones in the house. Just got to clear up the middle now. Coming out the other side, it's just going to be a peel away of the top guard. The shooter does roll away as well, which is good. And New Brunswick's just going to look to replace that one. Just keep closing up that middle. This team from the CWC in Fredericton. Yeah, look to see if they can set up that guard. Now we're in the skip stones with Justine Como. Want to make sure this one's got a curl. This one's got some weight to it, though, for a guard. Let's see if they can figure out a plan B here. Good draw weight, though. Great draw weight. Bumps it back. Still makes it difficult now, but let's see what Lenton tries to do. Just probably bump back that red one. Just hope for a little mess here, because it is kind of lined up in a way that if she throws enough weight and hits it on the right angles, it could remove a couple of the red ones. But unfortunately, they wanted a higher guard there. The rock went a little bit deep, and now presents an opportunity for Montague to cut it down and maybe see if they can get the middle and open it up for a draw on their final shot. Valentine with her first here in end number 2. Just got to get it over to the center of the center line there. Starting to break. Moves 1. Can they get 2? We'll roll over. Yeah, the shooter sits in a very nice position, actually. And it looks like it's just a single right now for New Brunswick, so a great throw put in there by Lenton. The shooter sits in a very nice spot, so if they can figure out a way, but could get 2 here if they do get it very nicely. Now Como's taking a look, see if she can peel away the Yellowstone. Or just try and draw right up to it, prevent that run back of the red, yellow onto red on a final shot. Some options now, though, for Lenton, who has turned this end around, though. Great job from Montague. Como her last shot here in end number 2 at the Atlantic Under 18 Curling Championships here, presented by Bellline Community One, your local leader in sports webcasting in Atlantic Canada. Hard on the sweep here. Must be light. This one looks light. Harder, trying to see how far back they can take it. And they just want to curl a little bit more. So we'll sit around the center, so make it difficult. But all that does is leave an option now. Lenton's going to try and draw for her single here. Going to need a piece of the button for her 1. So Lenton here, gonna have to throw a near perfect draw. But if it's anything like she threw during warm-ups where she was on the button, she can do it. She'd like to also give a shout out to her father, who is here at the club. It's his birthday. But a quick shout out to him on her last shot. This one has weight to it. Gonna need to curl too, but it has some weight to it. And this one will go through, and it will be a steal of 1 for New Brunswick here in end number 2. So after 2 ends at the under-18 Atlantics, New Brunswick is up 1-0 over the host Montague Curling Club squad. And don't forget, these games will be They'll be playing 8 ends with 30 minutes each of thinking time. Both of them are doing very well on time so far. Nothing to worry about just yet. We're going to start third end right away. No break. So after the 4 ends, we're going to have a mid-game break. It'll be about a 3 to 4 minute break. That's the opportunity for the coaches to come out and talk with their teams, strategize, maybe pump their team up if needed. Olivia McLaughlin, who's done some great, set up her team very well in these first 2 ends. This one will get brought back just behind the tee line. Sutton will hang around, and he'll sit in nicely. And again, the Montague team does not want the hammer here in 3, unless there is an opportunity for them to get a deuce. But right now, they just want to clear it up. You want the hammer in the even end, so ideally you would have the hammer coming home, and that's what Montague wants. Really open game so far, though, between these two teams. And a nice opening shot there, just a hit and stick, perfect throw. And New Brunswick's gonna have to do exactly the same. This one looks perfect, right on the money. Just an easy clean right now, just to make sure they keep that line. Another hit and stick. Both these teams doing very well in the takeout so far. Update over on sheet number 2 in the men's action. A single was picked up by New Brunswick. So in the men's action, New Brunswick is tied with the host Montague Curling Club squad 1-1 on sheet number 2. You can also catch that with Brett Poirier over on Bellline Community 1 if you want to switch over and watch that one as well. Great takeouts again, right on the money. Can't put them in any better positions. And pretty much these ends always come down to who can make the mistake first, unfortunately. But if they keep shooting like this, we could be on pace for another blank. This one just got to curl a little bit more. We'll get a hit, and we'll roll over into the corner, and we'll go over to the side. So, although New Brunswick wants to keep it in the middle, able to keep the shooter around, and that is important for them. So, it won't give an opportunity for O'Connor to do a draw, but we'll force her to do a takeout here instead. Waiting for that one to curl. That one's really hanging on the outside. I don't think that one's going to cut back in. And that one just went outside. It's going to go in right and through. Well, sometimes what happens when you go on the outside of the ice, it really catches that frost, and it's just very difficult to come right back in. And that one just stuck out there and didn't go back in. And it gives an opportunity now for New Brunswick to split the rings here and try and draw one to the other side of the rings. This one has some weight to it, though. And this one will probably just get right in through, so the opportunity is given right back into Montague's hands. And both teams right there making a quick mistake, but it will just even back out, and we're going to have another takeout here on the rock on the outside of the rings for O'Connor. She's going to now do the in-turn. Wasn't comfortable with the out-turn last time, but this one, they got to be hard on this one right out of her hand. This one's really breaking. Can they hold this one? It's coming out the outside. It looks like they'll just get a piece of it, and they are able. Great job by the sweepers right there from Montague, able to hold the line there. Hits and rolls away. And then we'll have an open house here for New Brunswick, looking to just draw into the rings. Good opportunity again for them with Como. Check that, it's LeBlanc with her first. This one's getting swept nicely right into the rings. Almost right. We'll sit around to the top of the 8-foot. Jang with her first. Trying to get a little bit of a curl here. We'll hit right onto the nose and we'll just clear it away. So we'll have that, again, hidden game. Waiting for a mistake here as we're coming down to the final stones. This one's trying to go through. We'll hit about half of the stone, so it's just going to peel it away. So Cheng now will get an opportunity to curl around to the outside of the rings and try and force a difficult takeout for Skip Como. Going around, trying to get to the outside, trying to wait for it to curl a little bit more. Weight seems to be okay. A little bit on the upper side. Looking good, though. They're starting to get on it. The curl's starting to catch up. And let's see how far they can take this one. Great weight, great line. And that's just going to get right into the back corner. Great draw put in there from Jing. It's going to be very difficult for Como to get to. Of all the takeouts, that's why you put it on the outside. Makes because the middle takeouts on the center of the ice are much easier. On the outside, it's a little harder. So you couldn't place it any better, though. Does Montague, and Como's going to have to get this one. See if they can stick around and try and put the pressure right back on Lentine for her shot. Right on this one is Como. Trying to keep the line now. That one's really starting to cut in. Holding the line, it's going to hit. And where's the roll going? Nice little roll, trying to get right back into the middle of the ice. Now Lentine's going to try and hit and keep it again. Keep it to the outside. Because by keeping it down the center of the ice, makes it more difficult for the Montague's team to try and force a blank if they do catch an edge. So a little bit of some quick strategy session right there between these two teams with just a single rock in play. This one's got to get a little bit over, a little more. They want it a little bit more, and then this one looks like it's just going to peel it away. Couldn't curl in a little bit more. We've seen it, though, in the first game. The right side of the ice is a bit unforgiving on the curl. It just seems to go straight, and we just saw that on that shot right there. And come with their last one. Going to just try to the outside. Or draw to the center even. And try and see if she can force a miss from Lentine. And see if she can steal or force Montague to 1 here in end number 3 as New Brunswick is up 1-0 with that steal in the second end. and women's action here on draw number 2. Make sure to come back again at 10 a.m. Saturday morning on draw number 3. On this ice here on sheet number 3, we're going to be having PEI men's team going against the New Brunswick men's team. Should be a good battle between those two. This one's a little bit heavy, though. How far can they take it? Will it go in through? And it will hang around just behind the back 12 foot. Good draw right in there, so just going to be a peel away attempt for the blank here in 3. Let's get Lauren Londonton from the Montague Curling Club, the host team here for this Atlantics tournament. Great ice here in Montague. Trying to take full advantage of their hometown ice. We've seen it last year in the under-18 Athletics, where the host team did win the whole championships, so it can happen again. This one's got to come over a little bit more. This one's got to cut in. And just gets a piece of it, but with that weight, that's all you need. And there's the blank here in 3 ends. So New Brunswick will hold their 1-0 lead here against the hometown Montague Curling Club here at the Under-18 Atlantic Championships. As we're going to enter straight into end number 4, we'll see some more rocks in play here as Montague's going to try and use this end to try and get their deuce. So New Brunswick's going to see if they can go right back into stealing one here. So Coleman's going to look, see if her lead, McLaughlin, will put a guard up onto the center line. Trying to get that central guard up. Nice and easy, clean right now. Oh, problem right there. A little bit off by the great tight guard. And right away, instead of trying to put a corner guard, we're seeing Montague's just going to choose to attack, try and curl in right around and draw in behind. Looking over on sheet number 1, a lot of rocks in play. We always saw Nova Scotia this afternoon. A ton of rocks in play over there. So it seems like that is their play style. As they're still in the third end there, sorry. This one curls in right in behind. This one's hanging around on the outside again. This side has been very unforgiving on the curl, trying to get to that Yellowstone. And it's really straight on that right side, and then this one will just continue to go straight and will fly in through. And now it gives an opportunity to Montague to split the rings here, try and set 2. Waiting for that to curl a little bit more. Weight seems to be fine. A little bit on the upper side. Will it slow down enough, though? This one could be swept in through. Let's see how far Como can take it. And it's going to just hang around on the back 12. Split the rings very nicely. Now Como's trying to see, is there a double opportunity there if they hit it on the angle? The key here on this one, though, make sure you just don't get in through. You've seen it's very straight here, so it's not the end. You want to get the yellow. If you're not going to get the Yellowstone, try and even knock away your guard on this opportunity because it will just clear up the middle. You don't want anything in the way. It's on the outside again. Got to wait for it to come back in, though. This one's going to come in a little bit late. Able to get it. Moves one. Going to hit against the second one. And a very nice shot in there. Able to remove both Yellowstones. Hits it right on the angle. Good adjustment there by Como, recognizing that it's really much straighter ice and giving much less ice on that second takeout opportunity. Dun's going to look to her team, try and draw right behind, but this one is outside. This one's way on the outside right now. It's might catch some frost and slow down, and that's what we're seeing right now. It's really slowing down. So I'm going to try and see if they can get this one on the ring. Some hard sweeping right here. And a great job by the sweepers. Able to get it over, and it'll hang around on the outside of the 12-foot. Pulling the broom down. Como looking hard on the sweep here. Hit maybe a little bit of a roll towards the middle. And let's see this roll. Can they get much of a roll? Tiny little roll over and it'll go into the 8-foot. But now Lentine's going to look to see if her team can now get that hit and roll in behind. O'Connor with her second. Trying to get a hit and roll behind that red guard. After this end, though, we will have a couple-minute break. So use the opportunity to grab yourself a little bit of a drink as the coaches will talk to their players and see what adjustments they should make. And this one's hanging around on the outside once again. Will it even get a piece? And that one's just going to fly with that one by. A lot of difficulty so far on this right side of the ice right now. Very straight. I set this one in. They want to on the 12-foot. Blocking off that right side. They want it to sit for second shot. Let it curl a little bit more. They are off of it. Good call there. Now it's going to come in, but that could be doubled up, though, if they hit it right on. Just carried up a little bit too far, a little bit too deep. If it came in a little bit higher, it would have made it much more difficult and it curled a little more. But that in the position right now, if Ching hits it nicely, she could remove both red stones. One will come in. It will just hit off the top one, though. Didn't curl in enough. And it gives Como's team a second opportunity to replay that shot. Trying again, opportunity number 2 here for New Brunswick. All right. Looks like they're just going to try and use that opportunity to bounce off the red one and knock it over inside. Not enough, and it will put it central, but I think they might be on even still. So if they throw, again, another double opportunity here for the Montague team. Waiting for it to curl. They need to get a little bit more of a curl. They want to get on the inside on the left run. And this one's going to just, looks like it'll just hit off the right one. Rolling over, it won't have enough, so no opportunity on the double. But it does get some separation for New Brunswick, so they can get that hit and rolling behind the red guard. Now it looks to be that's what their call is. You'll be seeing Justine Como with her first on the skip stones. They are up by 1 here after 3 ends. Great shot over on sheet number 4 on the UPI side. As the crowd very approves. Some great curling action going down here. This one's again hanging on the outside. Been seeing that a lot. Gotta see some adjustment there. That's just gonna hit. And now we'll roll out the outside. Again, we've seen coming down that side. Gabby, it's very straight. Gotta give very minimal ice. And both teams just haven't adjusted to that just yet. Gives an opportunity for Montague hit and roll and trying to force a miss from New Brunswick. See if they can get their deuce here in 4. Looks like there was a blank in the third end over on sheet number 2, so there's still 1-1 between New Brunswick and the Montague Curling Club over on the men's action. And over on sheet number 4, Nova Scotia got a deuce in 3. Check that. PI got a deuce in 3, so they're now down 4-2 to Nova Scotia. And that one just over curled here. Cuts in right in between the hole, between the red stones. 2 red ones. And a given opportunity now. Looks like they're going to want to guard, have it on the 12-foot, make sure it's counting. Now the option is here. Do they want to try and guard their red stone, or they just want to separate the rings? Another single picked up by PEI over on sheet number 1 in the men's action. They're up 2-0 over Nova Scotia. Over on sheet number 1 in men's action. As we have Como's final shot here in the 4th end. Looking to want to sit on the top 12, guarding their own stone. So they just need to curl them more. Weight seems fine. Very nice one, will bite. So we'll count, and this guards it up very nicely. Now the decision here, should they draw in here? Is there a run back opportunity? It's not much of an opening to really draw up to. So I might look to have to run back the red stone. Might be a good time if you have to use one of your timeouts, I would say, in this type of situation here. Make sure, take your time on this shot, because if you do miss it, that's 2 big points just based on the style of this game. Big shot here in end number 4. Could be the difference. Lauren Lenentine from the Montague Curling Club, the host team. This one's outside right now, way on the outside. It's got to come back in. Plan B removes 1. So it's going to be a steal of 1 here in end number 4. And New Brunswick will go into the break leading 2-0 over the hometown Montague Curling Club here at the Under 14 Atlantic Curling Championships.
Cool job. Yeah. It's not bad. It's cold out here though. I know.
And welcome back to the Atlantic Under 18 Curling Championships here in Montague, PEI. Very tight game between these two teams here on sheet number 3 on draw number 2 action as New Brunswick coming from the CWC Capital Winter Club in Fredericton. New Brunswick is up 2-0 over the host and hometown Montague Curling Club squad. Skipped by Lauren Londonton. Who's got hammer? in this fifth end here. We do play 8 ends. Both of them very good on thinking time. They both have around 19 minutes left, so plenty of time for their upcoming shots. So one shot already into the back gate from McLaughlin. They're going to try and draw one up to it. Going to need some help here. How far back can they take this one? And that one's going to just get to the 4-foot. A little bit more of a curl, but we'll provide. It's going to have to be like a control takeout here, but it looks like they're going to go right on and just peel it away.
I don't think so.
Again, a little unusual coming in on the intern. Could jam against their own red one, but McLaughlin proves us wrong and is able to peel it away very nicely there, but a very risky attempt. But that's a lot of confidence in your lead right there to make a peel attempt. Who lead in position normally doesn't try shoot those shots, but very confident right there. It does the job. Questions the doubters. Second opportunity here onto the freeze. Someone's hanging again on the outside. We've seen this on this right side very straight, and that one is just not curling. That is still really mostly running straight, and it's got some weight to it, and that's just going to go in right and through. Bergwijn just noticing that it's just she came up light, threw some weight at it, and just didn't curl in right there. So an opportunity now for New Brunswick to try and get a second one into the rings. Comes Bridget Como here. This one sets up very nicely. We'll go in a little bit deeper than I would like, but still very good shot, and we'll sit for shot stone. And it looks like they are lined up for an opportunity for O'Connor to see if she can run back, get the 2. This one is inside. She was inside. This one they got to sweep on hard if they want to keep the line here. Great shot from the sweepers. But it will just peel it away. Can't get the back one. Good weight, though. And that one will sweep just enough to go out on the other side, but she wasn't. O'Connor was just a tiny bit inside, and sweepers recognized that and jumped on it early and did a great job just holding it enough so they can remove 1 stone. So it's coming a little bit on the outside of here. And try and cut in. And very nicely placed again, almost reminiscent of the previous shot. And O'Connor will get a second opportunity here. I see O'Connor again. This one's on the broom this time. Waiting for it to curl a little bit more, though. This one just waiting for it to cut in. And it looks like it just might just get half. And we'll go in through. They want to bring it over to the outside. Don't want to keep it in the middle. And great spot for the shooter to roll, but this one just didn't cut. Unfortunate there for O'Connor. And LeBlanc will try and see if she can capitalize and remove that yellow stone. one's running very nicely. This one will hit right on. Might get a tiny bit of a roll. And it's just going to get the tiny bit of a roll. And New Brunswick doing a good job. Setting 2 right now. Trying to see if they can force Montague to 1. Megan Ching here. Done a great job for her team. Been a very tight game between these two. It's just come down to little mistakes here and there for Montague. It's coming in some good tournament results. Coming in 2nd place in Boston in the women's division and 3rd place at St. John's this year. So some good results, and they did okay at the PI provincials, but they are here and trying to show why they are. That's going to hit and roll away, so it's just a single stone, and New Brunswick's again going to try and put that central draw in place. This New Brunswick team came 4th at the Canada Games and 4th at Nationals this year. Trying to see if they can add in Atlantic's championships to their resume. And sets in very nicely here. And we're going to see now Cheng throw some weight at it. Some control weight here, it looks like, to try and get rid of the 2 red stones, maybe run it back. This one's a bit on the outside, waiting for it to cut in a little more. Will this cut in? And just gets a piece of the red one. But it will knock it just a little bit over. But that one just, again, this right side very relentless to that curl. And just, it's causing a toll on both the teams right now. New Brunswick going to look, see if they can add a 3rd stone into the rings now. Comes the skip stones here. Como with her first. Trying to see if she can add a 3rd into the rings here for New Brunswick. Start to cut in a little bit. Looks like they just want to come up to their stone over on the right side. And that's going to sit very nicely here. So it's a choice here for Lenton. What does she want to attack first? She seems confident. Maybe might just draw up to the stone on the back. Could be seeing a freeze opportunity here. Here comes London Ton. Trying to get this one in. Hard on the sweep right out of her hands. Trying. Weight seems okay. Line seems fine. How far back they're going to take it? Well, is it light? And it does come up light. That's why they were sweeping on this one. And that one's going to sit for third shot here. Coming up light on the draw now. New Brunswick has to take a look and see if they can remove that Yellowstone without jamming against one of their own. They do have some time to come up with a decision. Both teams do as well have 2 timeouts. Minute 30 long timeouts. Chat in with their team if they're not sure. It's a big shot here for New Brunswick. Their final shot here. And end number 5. They do play 8 ends here at the under 18 athletics. Trying to avoid the jam here is Como. Easy clean right now, letting it curl a little bit more. This one could be interesting. Will again through, find the hole, and a nice shot in there. Able to avoid the jam. Will it hang around? And it gets a nice little pirouette spin at the end, and it'll hang around. And New Brunswick will sit 4, so it'll be a draw against 4 for Lenentine from the Montague Curling Club. The middle is open, so she does have access, has some backing as well. Just got to make sure, just don't come up light here. Comes Lenentine with her final stone here in end number 5. Curling against 4, down by 2. Waiting for it to curl a little bit more. Light clean. Where is this going to end up? And that's going to sit in nicely. And they will pick up the single here in at number 5. They will cut the lead in half. As now New Brunswick leads 2-1 over the Montague Curling Club here at the Under 18 Atlantic Championships. New Brunswick will have their first opportunity here coming from the CWC in Fredericton with the hammer in this game. See how will they adjust to the game now with the hammer. Over in the men's action, New Brunswick is up 4-1 over the Montague hometown team over in the men's action. MPI team is up 2-0 still over Nova Scotia in the men's action over on sheet number 1. Just waiting on an update here on sheet number 4 between PEI and Nova Scotia women's. Once we figure out, last update was 4-2 for Nova Scotia over PEI. But no score up yet for the 4th end, so we'll have to wait and see. As Montague will put up their opening guard here in the 6th end. Trying to get that central guard set up very nicely for themselves. Leads always set the tone for the rest of the end. Trying to curl in and around the Yellowstone. Line seems to be finding weights coming down quickly. They just want to make sure that they are buried. Trying to cut in. Out. How far back? And a very nicely played draw there from McLaughlin. Nicely buried in behind the yellow guard. Will go behind the T line, however. So it does present an opportunity for Montague to draw right up to it. Looking to try and drop. Just click cancel. Trying to draw up to the red stone. They want it right on it. Nice little curl. Will come up right. A little small bump. But it will come in very nicely for Montague. It's not a little bit of decision time. Should they just add another stone on top of it? It looks like they're just going to add a stone on top of it. Once they want it above the tee line, though. Going in right there. This one has some weight to it. They want to make sure it's above the tee line. Almost calling them off. She needs the curl a little bit more as well. And now one will sit nicely right above the tee line. Get a piece of button. That's going to go for shot. And this could be some problem here for New Brunswick if Montague can add another stone on top, bump it back. We want to open up the middle of the ice, and this could be a very crowded end here now with a lot of rocks in play. Haven't been yet to experience that with these two teams yet. Hard on the line here. On the throw from O'Connor. Come the inside. Bump it back nicely. Avoids the jam. Beautiful throw in there by O'Connor. And New Brunswick's going to have to look to remove the Yellowstone. Run back wouldn't be terrible either, as Como pointed out. Let's see what happens here. Is just a peel. And we'll get the peel away so the middle of the house is open. And one time we'll look to O'Connor just threw that perfect, beautiful stone earlier. Try and replace it. This one's coming in. Foreguard, it's going to come in deep. So trying to see plan B here. Maybe bump back their yellow one into the red. Little bump back. And it will knock it around. So a little bit of a pocket here for New Brunswick. Very interesting here what they'll choose to do. Hit the yellow on an angle. Get a double. Coming through. Double is what they're looking at. Come and hit one of the Yellowstones, but again, this is the first type of pressure New Brunswick has been on all game. And Montague is putting on some intense pressure on them right now. We'll probably use this opportunity for New Brunswick. Call timeout, get control, talk it over. Make sure they know before this end gets out of hand for them. This one's hanging on the outside. It's got to come back in, and we've noticed coming on that side, the rocks just do not come back in, and this one is just going to fly right in through. And that we've had that issue going on a lot so far in this game. And this presents a huge opportunity for this Montague squad. Coming right in here, trying to set up a guard. Is Ching. So we'll come in, avoid the opportunity for them to get it, and looks like New Brunswick is just going to try and come into that pocket now. Most important thing is just do not come in light here. You have the backing, and that's going to be the most important thing for LeBlanc's shot here. Do not come up light. Nice and easy clean right now. Now they're getting on it as it starts to curl a little bit. Hard on that. That one's really starting to cut. Did they wait too long? Just gets a little bit of a tick off the top one. It ends up in a decent position still though. And here comes Ching again, trying to draw right on top of that one. Just start to really cut in and just wait a little bit too long. Just takes a little tick off the top yellow guard. This one come in though, doesn't get curl enough. And we'll bomb it back in. So the opportunity Montague had right there, just lost it. And it looks like the birthday boy won the 50-50. And New Brunswick has an opportunity now to see if they can add that stone right on top of their red one after the missed opportunity from Montague. This one's coming up a little bit light. They got to see how far can the Supers take it. Trying to give whatever they have left here. We'll take a little bit of a tick off that yellow one. And we'll roll over and we'll sit over top of a very crowded house here. Looks like Lantine's going to try and draw behind that red one. Trying to draw right up into the button. See if she can force a single here. Over on sheet number 4 in the women's action, Nova Scotia did pick up a single, so they're up 5-2 against PI over in the women's action. Here comes the skip stones here. Lentine trying to see if she can get in behind the red stone. Hard on the sweep. Weight seems okay. I think they were worried about the line here. This one's really starting to cut in. And that one's going to hit off the top red guard, it looks like. Might bump it a little bit. We got a very crowded house here. Right now, though, it does kind of favor Montague, even though New Brunswick's in the one. If they can force New Brunswick to the single here, it does make it ideal for them. New Brunswick does have the 2 timeouts. Might look to use one of them here. Looking at the various options here. Got to make sure they don't jam, though, because there is so many stones behind the tee line as well. Trying to see what options does Montague have. They have a couple raises that Montague can do. Again, advise New Brunswick, call the timeout. Important shot here. Talk it over with your team and coach. Figure it out. Well, looks like that's going to be the call. They're going to try and draw in behind the yellow.
I don't want to go down.
Looks like they have the confidence here. Coach is not calling a timeout, so looks like he's happy with this draw call here. Pivotal shot, though. First to 2 stones here, though, for skip Justine Como. This one has weight to it, though. This one has a lot of weight. So one might get a piece of the yellow one behind the tee line, or it might just go right in through. And that one just goes right in through. Can't get a piece of the yellow. And couldn't find that draw. So it might be a little bit of a raise here. Coming from Lentine off the Yellowstone. Great opportunity to force a single or steal one here, does Montague. Only problem here on the raise, though, if they don't hit on the right angle, could hit off the yellow into the red. So you got to hit this one right perfectly. Over on sheet number 2, a single picked up by the Montague squad. They are now down 4-2 to New Brunswick over in the men's action. They're in 6 as well. And over on sheet number 1 in the men's action between PI and Nova Scotia, it is 2-2 over there as well. They're in end number 6 as well. Very tight games here on draw number 2. Trying to see if they could get the raise on the Yellowstone. Hard on this one right now. Oh. Make sure, did they get enough of it? Did they wait too long? And they waited a little bit too long on the curl. And it does present, though. And a lot of very difficult draw right in here. And New Brunswick, will you call timeout here? Coach Tim Como not happy with the draw call right in here. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Very critical shot here. New Brunswick using the first 2 timeouts because they did come in on the draw here. If they did bump off one of the Yellowstones, they could give up a steal here just on the way the Yellowstones are placed. So if they do yellow into red here, could bump off the yellow one just enough for them to sit second shot. Just New Brunswick got to figure out a way. How can they get their 2 here? Make sure, though, you guys tune in again at 10 a.m. for draw number 3 on Saturday, April 4th. Over here on sheet number 3, we're going to have PI going against New Brunswick in the men's action, and New Brunswick's women's side will be going against PI. Over on sheet number 2, It looks like they're going to try the bump back, yellow onto red. On the final shot here. New Brunswick is sitting one right now, but a very crowded house. Lots of opportunities to wait for a jam here. But a draw was very risky because if they were inside, because if they were though, they can bump it back. If they were inside though, they could have bumped the yellow one into for the single. So a little bit of a less risky attempt here. Hard on this one here. Did they wait a little too long as well? Want the red one and just wait a little bit. Couldn't get it, and it's just after all those rocks in the house, a single will be picked up for New Brunswick. They will extend their lead now 3-1 over the hometown Montague Curling Club squad here at the Under-18 Atlantic Curling Championships here at the Montague Curling Club. Just a 2-point lead. Montague does get the hammer back. 1 deuce, and this game will be tied. 2 ends left to go, though, in this very close and tight game between these squads. McLaughlin will start this end off. Probably drawing this one into the rings. Trying to force a... They're looking to maybe get a blank or force here. In 7. So we'll get brought in right just above the button. Very nicely played opening draw there. McLaughlin has set the tone very nicely for New Brunswick so far in this tournament. Over on sheet number 4 in the women's action, PEI picked up a single, and they're now down 5-3 against Nova Scotia. Very tight game over there. And over on sheet number 2 was a blank in 6. And New Brunswick will hold on to their 4-2 lead over the hometown Montague Curling Club squad. Try and remove the Yellowstone. Got to curl a little bit more, and this one sits very nicely. McLaughlin, I think she's been shooting perfectly so far in this game. Looks like they're going to draw in behind the red stone. Looks like Montague wants to get a lot of rocks in play here in end number 7. Trying to get it around that red stone. Want to get it buried too now. And this one can't get it buried. Good try right there. Good weight. Just couldn't get the finish on the line. So we're gonna now see Bridget Como now trying to remove that Yellowstone. Comes in nicely just around the guard. We'll get it to the yellow one. No problems there. And New Brunswick's takeout game has been supreme so far, but so has Montague's team and this player, especially O'Connor. Gonna try and rip right up to that red stone, it looks like. Hard on the sweep here, gotta keep the line. Line seems okay. No problem, come right up into the red stone. A little bit of bump. And just gonna bump back the tiniest bit, but just enough though, that if they do hit it, the yellow stone right on the nose, it will go clear right out. So just needed that stone to curl a little bit more, did Montague.
Any more than that? Right where you gotta hit it! Right where you gotta hit it!
Call on their second shot. This one's got a curl though. This one's just running straight. And that one just gets a piece of the yellow one. I'll roll over to the side, but that one just ran straight. Just did not want to seem to curl right there. Fortunate just to get another piece of the yellow, but and now Montague's going to use this opportunity to hit the yellow one on the forefoot. Trying to hit this one on the angle. Get a little bit of a roll over to the left side. Very nice shot played in there from Montague. Split the rings up. Looks like they're sitting 1 and 2 right now. And they do have the hammer, so things seem to be going very well for them right now to pick up their deuce to try and tie this game. See how New Brunswick are going to try and respond here. This one clean, no problem. It'll get on right onto the face, no problem, and replaces the stone.
I have air. Like 2 inches of air. Yeah. Nosing is better than wrecking here.
Gonna look to chain here just to remove that. Redstone, no problem. Just hitting stick would be best for them. Right on that one, right out of the hands. Trying to keep that line though. It looks like they'll get about half of it. A little bit of a roll. And no problem on the roll there as well. So, but it does give that opportunity on the roll. They could get a double on the 2 yellow ones. The jam isn't, no worries about that really for New Brunswick. Right out of the hands, they gotta get on. They gotta get on that one. They should have waited on this one now. So we'll just hit right onto the nose and replace the yellow stone. Looks like they're looking at a hit and roll here for Ching. Maybe looking to make sure they do avoid the jam though as well.
It's edge on edge.
A lot of weight here. This one's got to be right on. They knew how uncomfortable the curls on this one, so if they threw more weight here, trying to get the angle, moves one just enough and is able to knock the second one off. And Montague, again, is sitting two here. Very nicely thrown stone there from Jane. Montague setting themselves very nicely to try and get the deuce here. Let's see if New Brunswick can interrupt it, though. Here in the 7th end, New Brunswick is up 3-1 over the hometown Montague squad at the under 18 Atlantic Curling Championships here at the Montague Curling Club. It's being powered by Bellaline Community One, your local leader in sports webcasting in Atlantic Canada. This one might have been a little bit inside, but looks to be okay. It looks like they wanted that rollover. Get closer to the Yellowstone. Looks like Monty's just going to look for a hit and stick here. Comes the skip, Lauren Londonton, with their first of 2 rocks. With hammer here in 7, down by 2. See if she can figure out a way to get her deuce. Here comes Londonton. Gotta wait, get it over to the other side of the center line. This one looks to be very nice. A little bit of hard sweep there. And that's just gonna hit right onto the nose. So Montague setting themselves very nicely for the deuce here. See if New Brunswick can hit, roll over. Trying to make this one difficult for Montague and Londonton. Comes Como with her final shot here in 7. Try and see if she can limit the damage here. This one just runs straight and looks like it'll hit right onto the nose. Maybe a little bit of a roll. Now can't get it. And Montague has an opportunity now just to hit and stick, to pick up their deuce here in 7 and tie this game up going into 8. Trying to get this one over. It's got to curl a little bit more. They want to hit and stick. start to curl. Will it curl? Hit it how far back, and that's no problems. Scary a little bit, but they are able to pick up their deuce here in 7. And the Montague Curling Club, the host team, has tied it against New Brunswick, coming from the CWC in Fredericton. 3-3 here, but New Brunswick will have the hammer coming home, just needing the single to take the victory. You're joining us at the Under-18 Atlantic Curling Championships here at the Montague Curling Club here in this Bell Community 1 broadcast. Trying to set up that central guard, trying to see if they can force a steal of 1 here in this 8th end. Trying to get this one very nicely. He's got to curl a little bit more. One though carried a little bit farther than they would have liked. They would have liked the guard, but it goes in the rings. And all New Brunswick is just going to do clear out any Yellowstones. They don't want anything in play and leave themselves set up for their final shot. Over on sheet number 1 in the men's action, Nova Scotia did pick up a single, so they're up 3-2 against PEI in the men's side. And a single of 1 more for Montague, the host team, over in the men's action on sheet number 2. And New Brunswick is now up 4-3 to New Brunswick is up 4-3 to Montague Curling Club over on sheet number 2 in the men's action. And it looks like we're going to have a measurement here on sheet number 4 in the women's action team, PEI and Nova Scotia. So 3 rocks. I've been close, and this one's coming up really light. And that's always the mentality. When you come up heavy on your first one, you do want to come up lighter, and this one, a little bit too much was taken off, and this one had to be hard swept to get it over the hog line, but they do a great job doing so. New Brunswick trying to add a second one into the rings now. As all Montague wants to do, get as many rocks in play. Trying to see if they can force one later. This one will come in through the other side. Doesn't have too much now. I think this one will hang around amongst the back. Lenton's going to try and sweep as much as she can, and it's just going to bite around in the back 12 area. And now she'll use the opportunity with that guard out in front and try and come in behind herself. And over on sheet number 4, Nova Scotia picked up the single. And they are now up 6-3 against PEI after 6 ends over on sheet number 4 in the women's action. As another draw comes in a little bit deep here. And Nova Scotia was thinking, sorry, New Brunswick was thinking here to draw him behind. But right away, her team tells us, you have that guard in front. Let's clear it away. We don't want anything out in front. And she runs up there quickly and looks to remove and peel away the yellow guard. Peels it away, no problem there. And the center is open once again. And it's a choice here for Lentine. She's going to look to play a central guard up. See if she can close up the middle. Keep in mind that this Montague's team does have 2 timeouts. New Brunswick has 1. Could you choose to use them here in this final end? Trying to get this one center guard. This one coming up a little bit light as well. And it didn't curl as much as well. So just wanting, they'd rather have it curl a little bit more. And that's what they waited for. Weight was good, just needed it to curl a little more. And New Brunswick right away is just going to look to peel it away. They are sitting 2 right now, so they're perfectly fine with the peels right now. Don't give any opportunity for Montague to try and steal one. This one's close, and it will just get the edge, but with the amount of weight, when you're throwing the peel away, even if you catch the edge, it's enough, and they are able to, and it will peel away that guard. Up to Maidstones already. Looks like they might be choosing another central guard here. Getting close to the red one. This one has got some weight to it, so they realize it's going to come in, so how far can they take it? And they're going to take this one all the way up to the tee line, which they're going to try and peel away as well, but if they don't get the peel, it could run back and jam in. Comes LeBlanc with her stone. This one's coming a little bit on the outside. Goes it through, hits the yellow one and the red one in the back, misses it though. And that's an opportunity here for Montague on that miss, and they're going to choose to guard that yellow stone up top. That is the miss opportunity that Montague needed. Again, we've seen that running very straight on the right side and just happened there once again. And let's see if Montague can capitalize. This one's looking very good right now. Coming a little bit deeper than they would have liked, but it's still just need it to finish. And this one came in a little bit deeper. And it's going to have to be a nice takeout here. Avoid the jam here for New Brunswick. Big shot here for LeBlanc. Whoa, right out of her hand. Looks to be good. Let's see what it gets. It'll get 1, and it will roll over. It's right here for Lenton. You got those 2 timeouts. Final end. but she seems very confident setting up that guard. Right, I would use this opportunity, maybe talk it over with, because you can, if they do angle the red one over, removes the yellow. And that's what they're thinking about right now, so. But she seems confident in this shot right here, so we'll see what Lenton can do for this Montague team. She's currently sitting 1, surrounded by 3 red stones. In this final end of this tie game here, very tight game between these two teams. Trying to close up the port, it looks like. Hard on the sweep here. That will sit very nicely for Montague, closing it up. And they're going to try the angle here. That was Justine Como with it. She's going to be throwing her first to skip stones. Hit the red into the yellow. Very important shot here in this 8th. Trying to get that raise red onto yellow. Justine Como from CWC in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Hard. Whoa. Whoa, that picked down the middle. And that one will go right in through. An unfortunate pick right there for Como. That was looking good, and that just went and just started to curl the other way. Very unfortunate for New Brunswick. Right now, though, you could do. It's the last shot for Montague. Call that timeout here. You have them. You might as well use it. Talk it over. Use that time, making sure everyone's on the same page on this shot here. Looks like Coach Quilty here wants to call that timeout, and he will call the timeout here. Montague will call the timeout. Back Quilty right away again. That's so just what I was saying. It's your last shot. It's an important shot here. Talk it over with your team. Make sure everyone's on the same page. That'll be the final 2 shots here in this very exciting game here on sheet number 3. Make sure you join us again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. as we will be having PEI going against New Brunswick in the men's action here on sheet number 3. It'll be the women's action on sheet number 2. This Bellline Community 1 broadcast here, your local leader in sports webcasting in Atlantic Canada. Take a look right here, right now. Montague is sitting the single, surrounded by 3 red ones. They got the guard up there. Looks like they're going to try and draw one in. Sit 2. And force New Brunswick to try and go after one of them. Important shot here. Lauren Lenentine from the Montague Curling Club. Taking her time before taking the shot. Has just under 5 minutes of think time. Plenty of time before taking this shot. Trying to curl this one in. Sit 2. Got to make sure the line is good. Don't want to bump off the red one. And that one looks like it's going to hit off the red stone. And it does provide so right here, going against one, has to hit the red onto the yellow. Last shot here, Justine Como for the win here. Tie game here. That's the unfortunate thing about being a skip. Comes down to the final shot. This one doesn't have enough. Will come back in. They're on this one now. There's the bump. There's the removal. And there's the victory there for New Brunswick. As Justine Como's team will go to 1-0 here at the Under-18 Athletic Championships. The Montague team, skipped by Lentine, will go to 0-2 on the standings. And we'll see if they can rebound tomorrow in the standings. This has been Martin Ohms here for Beltline Community 1 broadcast here at the Under-18 Curling Championships here at the Montague Curling Club. Make sure you tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. But until then, we'll see you guys later. Thank you very much.